Back to the channel, guys. I'm Mike, the host for Money, Marriage, and Media, and we're going to jump right into it today. So we're looking at the channel's called Lapeef Jr. and the show is called, I think this is Chic Critique. Not really sure. I think the host has changed, but either way, what we're discussing today is another part of relationships for women specifically. We're looking at financial security versus emotional security. So two of those things that we're gonna hear the ladies talk and see, because they have to pick which one is more important. So let's go ahead and jump right in and see what they're talking about.
Oh, we're going in order. I'm
No, no,
sorry.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I just thought about it depends on do you want to sustain the lifestyle or the love? So I think that would be a question that, each individual woman would need to answer. But for me, it would definitely be the love um, over the lifestyle. Because even when you have the lifestyle, you're going to have to, depending on the man, there's certain things that's going to come with.
As far as I know, Miss Taken is the only married woman on the panel. So let's just keep that in mind and let's keep going.
It that leaves you in a relationship that feels unloved. So for me, it's definitely love over lifestyle.
So, I agree with Shantae in that they're both important. However, for me, I have to say that emotional security is more important to me. Just because with emotional security, we can work on financial security together. If I feel safe with my man, we can take over the world.
Okay, gentlemen, I'm gonna be realistic with you here. Be careful of women, be mindful of women who say, well, we can get it together, or I can build him up. So I will take a guy who don't necessarily have it and we can just build together. Or how about this? I'll take an average guy and then I'll make him above average when we get together. Be mindful of women like that, because the reality is that most women prefer for you to lead in the relationship. But if she feels like she's going to have to raise your level, then ultimately what happens is that either she's going to resent you for not being able to do it yourself, or the other side of it, ladies, you got to be careful doing that too, because there's a good chance that once that guy reaches that level, he was like, okay, well, this is who I got when I was down and where I wasn't really doing that great. Imagine what I could get after I build myself up, after I'm making more money, after, you know what I'm saying, after I've improved on my looks, my physique. Imagine what kind of woman I can get now. So that's why it's a dangerous game when you play it like that. So my advice is always going to be, if you're the guy, in most cases, it's going to benefit you to lead, to have a plan for yourself and enact on that plan. And then if when a woman sees value in your plan, then she will come along and try and assist you in it. It usually doesn't work the other way around. When you have a woman in the lead role where she is giving you, she's leveling you up. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen, but the probability is pretty low that it does. Now, if you can find a relationship that's working like that, then I would say, and that's what you're into, then use whatever model you're doing as a guide to figure out how you can make that relationship work. Because at the end of the day, we still need more married couples. I'm not changing my message on that. I'm very pro marriage, but it also it's a matter of probabilities, and I mean that's just what it is. But look, we're getting off topic. Let's jump back into the video and see what else is going on.
World. If I feel like, I feel safe, I like if I have the emotional security, I can be myself, I can be my best self. And I'll be able to support you and you can support me and we can just get through whatever. You know, like if a person is only financially secure and you just feel like you're not safe emotionally, it's literally like mistaken said, it's just like it's the management of a lifestyle versus it being like there being any love and someone to be
Okay,
miserable.
we're gonna jump around here because she's basically agreeing with Miss Taken. So she prefers emotional security, and she listed the reasons. It seems like she's starting to ramble on right now. So let's just skip ahead and go to the next lady talking.
I'll be the one that go against the grain here. Because I mean,
More than ever, your law firm's website and
More
online presence
ads.
matter.
although they both are important, but I mean, emotionally, I won't feel comfortable if you are not in a financial, like a good place. And we can work on emotions, like, you know what I mean? Because you're saying what's more important. So for me, financial, because I'm always going to have it. But if I have it and you might not have it, now I feel like I may have to take care of you. I'm not doing that. So financial is more important, and the emotional, we can work on that later. As long as you're logically a smart person and I can deal with you, the emotional stuff, I'm okay.
And so I'm not gonna say she's wrong in her opinion, because again, if she's in a marriage, she's the one that's got to make it work. But I always question women who come with that mindset to, when you take your vows, it's for better or worse. You know, when a woman says that, it makes you think that, yeah, if hey, that's great that you're the income provider. But I'm gonna tell you, a big fear for guys is that, yeah, I got it now, but if I lose it, is she gonna be gone? I mean, and it's a fair claim, it's a fair line of thinking, but again, it's one of those situations where you need to vet the woman properly, and figure that out, because the realistic part is that if you're upfront and just ask that question directly, I mean, what do you think she's going to say? She's going to say something politically correct. So you're gonna have to vet her and figure out if when you hit rock bottom, you know, number one, there's always going to be a timetable there. But how long that timetable is really up to her. And the only thing I can tell you is that you got to find out, you know, how long that timetable will be. And the scary part is that it could possibly change, depending on what type of mood she's in, or depending on the history you have in the relationship. How long you guys have been together. The longer you've been together, the more likelihood is that she's gonna be willing to wait it out, until you get back on your feet. But it just is what it is. So like I said, she's not wrong in her position, because she's the one that's got to make that relationship work, as far as what she is, her responsibilities. But it is something that I always question when women bring that up.
That's just me personally.
So I'm going to go with financial for a different reason. I think understanding who men are and how they show up in this world, that financial security is so tied in with their identity and how they show up as partners, that if he's not able to have that financial security, he's not going to be able to show up as his best self in that relationship, regardless if your idea of financial security is different than his. If he's not where he needs to be, where he thinks he needs to be, or close to it, I don't know that man, there are not many men that have the capacity to support emotionally if they're not where they need to be financially.
Now, what she said is 100% correct. Here's the issue, though. Most guys that are not where they are financially, they're not looking for a relationship. If that man has seen, he has like big ambitions, and he's not going to get into a committed relationship with you before he reaches a certain goal. So it's really, and her argument is really kind of nuanced, because most guys in that situation, they're not going to be trying to be in a committed relationship with you anyway. They'll still take you on dates, still have sex with you, but commitment, they're gonna be not. They're gonna tell you, nah, I'm really about my bag right now. I'm chasing this paper. They'll give you a bunch of excuses about why they're out hustling and they don't have time for a relationship. I mean, and it's a legitimate answer, because at the end of the day, it's up to the guy to feel like, it's whether or not the guy proposes is totally up to him, ladies. You rarely have, if he's not in the mind frame to do that at that point, then it's almost like you might have to cut ties with him, just because he's not ready yet. I mean, it doesn't matter how good of a match you two are if the guy's not ready, and you can't force him to be ready either. The Well, let's see a little bit. Let's see here a little bit more where she's going, because I do have some more on that. But I want to see, she might address what I'm about to say.
So can I say something
Oh,
really
go
quick
ahead.
to that?
Yeah.
Sorry. So I agree with you wholeheartedly, Enos. But was the question financial security, is it more important to us as women or as men? Because
to us as women.
Yeah.
So I still stand on that, because if I need you as a man to show up as your best self, right? Like, that is my need. In order for me to make this relationship work with you, you got to be good with who you are and where you're at. And that is tied into your finances. So to me, it's more important, because if you have your finances together and you're not able to show up emotionally, that's a different story than you don't have your finances together and you don't have the capacity to show up emotionally. And so to me, the finances is what makes or breaks whether or not I'm willing to kind of work with that. Like, to me.
So in other words, she prefers men that lead with their wallet. That's what that boils down to. Because what she's saying is that if the guy doesn't have his finances in order, then he's not going to be ready for. He's not going to want to deal with me. Well, that's a little bit true. Because remember what I was saying before about if that guy is very ambitious and he has goals like that. But that's only part of the part of the man there. So there are men out here who lead with character. Now, a man who leads with character, which is what that's what I recommend most average men do. Average men. This is where we can make up a lot of ground. Is that the amount of character that we have? Because number one, character is always going to be in high demand, and number two, you can always go and develop it yourself. You don't need external sources to do that. But the other thing is that, a man who leads with character, who's high in character, that may, like I said, that's almost like the great equalizer there. Because I'm surprised that none of the ladies have brought this up yet, and it may be about to happen. But there's another issue with a man who has excess in finances. I'm almost certain, because it's one of those YouTube talking points, so I'm almost certain somebody's gonna bring it up. I'd be really shocked if they didn't. But yeah, again, if men who lead with character, this tends to happen with average men, and the average man myself, I can tell you that we can show up emotionally, and finances may be enough for us that we could be earning that average income, which is not a lavish lifestyle, but it is enough to support a family. So we can already show up just based on that with emotional security. Again, that's one of our superpowers, right? But let's keep going, because I think there's one more talking point in here that they haven't brought up yet, but I'm almost certain they will.
To me, that's an important part of it.
So the question more so wasn't about. It was about the average man, right? We're not talking about somebody who is struggling per se. We're talking about women who chase after men who can give them a certain lifestyle. With this day and age with social media, where we can see it up front. We see these women taking trips and their man flying them out, doing all these.
Yeah, I think I think B Taylor is about to. That's her name, B Taylor. Yeah, I think B Taylor is about to address the elephant in the room. Like I said, it's big. It's a big YouTube talking point. It's starting to get. Well, let's just go ahead and get through it.
Nice things going on nice dates, and we don't want to settle for the average guy who's an average earner or below average earner, because we don't want that simple lifestyle and what comes with that sacrifice with being with that high earning man. And as you can see in the celebrity world, or women who, like Bill Gates, he is this billionaire, but his wife left him. And it's like, or Dr. Dre's ex-wife, she left him after sticking it out for so many years. And it's like, I can get how I do think that to have emotional, you have to be secure financially, because it is a part of a man's identity. So I do agree in that extent. But women these days are kind of like crapping on the average earner of a man, and they're like, I can give you a simple lifestyle, but I'll be faithful, I'll be this. Or you can deal with a guy that's like, nah, I make all this money, here's what the requirements are, I don't really care about what you think, I don't care about what you say, I have options, I'm going to exercise those options, and I'm going to be with whoever I want to be with. And
Bingo, there it is. Like I said, major YouTube talking point. And you got, I'm not going to go into who brought that up because we all know who it was, right? Who brought that topic to light. So let's just move on.
as long as you're comfortable, you're fed, you got a nice house, you got clothes, you good, the kids are good, they're in a nice school, what are you complaining about? But for some reason, women find themselves still saying, I don't feel emotionally secure in my spot. So they leave those situations and they leave the lifestyle.
That was what I was trying to get at with Inez, because she said he needs to be financially secure to show up as his best self in a relationship. But the flip side to that I was getting at is kind of examples that you were given, is that if he is, let's say, a high value man, that in what comes along with that, based on the examples that you gave. Now, I'm not to say that all men are like that, so I don't want to say that, because that's not the case. But for those men that are typically those high value earning men, from what we see, show that aspect. So are you able, as the woman, to show up in emotionally your best self when you are dealing with a high value man that have those expectations, like, since I have this kind of money, this is a way that I'm going to move, I'm providing you this lifestyle, so I just need you to lay back, deal with what I'm doing, and just shut up, just deal with it. So I think in that regard, you can't show up.
Okay, so the video's winding down, but at the end of the day, yeah, Miss Taken pretty much boiled it down to what this conversation really is about. It's what can you deal with? At the end of the day, it's I always say this: relationships are about balance, and that's true for marriage as well. So the things that you want, both men and women, whatever it is that you want in a spouse, you have to be willing to put up with what comes with that. You want a high value man? Okay, well, there are certain things that come with that type of relationship. And she just mentioned it. This man will more than likely have other options. And there's another YouTuber who has a talking point, and it's about men being honest. And he says that when you're with a high value man, a man of extreme status and well to do with finances, the relationship goes like this. It says, yeah, we're in an open relationship. Open on my end, closed on your end. Can you deal with it? And he puts it like that and tells women that, or actually he says that I don't give them the option. I just tell them this is what it is up front. If you want to roll with me, fine. And a lot of times the position presents itself like that. So what I say is that, it's all about balance. If that lifestyle's for you, then great. Just be willing to deal with it. If you want looking for a guy who is less likely to cheat on you, then yeah, you need to drop your standards a little bit, because, well, I wouldn't even say it's dropping your standards, because if you have a standard that says that this man won't cheat on me, then that is a high standards. So you just have to you have to balance the equation in other ways. He might not be making as much money. The amount of status that he has is going to be reduced. Why? Because women are not as attracted to him. So there are other ways. You just have to figure out what works for you and what you're willing to deal with. Because at the end of the day, it's for better or worse. And we're supposed to stick it out. Marriage isn't supposed to be for 5 years and then, we tried and that's it. No. If you want to, we need to see more couples, more marriages if we want to rebuild a community. That's just what it is. So we just got to figure out ways to make it work. And I personally think there are lots of ways to do that. You just got to figure out which ways are acceptable to you. What can you handle? What are you willing to deal with in order to reap the benefits that come with successful marriage? But hey guys, we're going to end it here. Like and subscribe. Yeah, I'm Ghost to the next time.